All right, Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports.com, as we sort the Sunday pile. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the Panthers because it was so disappointing. How are you?
I'm good. I thought the Panthers had a really strong hour stretch of offensive production when the Lightning hit in Jacksonville.
That was really, and actually, that was my favorite part of the game. I had pros and cons. I made a list of pros and cons. The pro, that was item 4 after the place kicker and the punter. It was J.C. Horn's interception, the 48-yard field goal by Fitzgerald, the 2 good Sam Martin punts, and then the Lightning delay, which allowed me to watch a super entertaining football game in Jets and Pittsburgh. Very entertaining game.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if you want to talk about the Panthers. I do think, to your point about the offense, well, I would say, too, on that game, Jacksonville might be good.
Yeah, I don't think Jacksonville's all that good.
I think Jacksonville might be good. Coaching upgrade for Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter. Impact on offense, not so much on defense.
He didn't. They barely used him offensively. He was on the field a lot, but they basically treated him like a running back out of the backfield.
Yeah, I think he is banged up, and they don't want to overexpose him too early. The other thing too, if Carolina. Bryce missed some wide open throws. Like that 1-100 Renfro has to be a touchdown.
Yeah, agreed.
He could have had certainly. I think you like what you see from T-Mac. Need to get a little bit more. Defensively, they're just not going to be very good. But if Carolina makes that a game, I think we see a little bit more usage for Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter down the field. It just was like Jacksonville was more than content just to pound the ball with Travis Etienne, and just get out of Dodge. And so we'll see if that defensive effort from Jacksonville carries over further into the season, or if that was sort of a one-off. But I tend to think at least the AFC South put it itself pretty well yesterday. All things considered, Carolina, you see the way that Michael Penix looked, you see the way that Baker Mayfield. Their new their new rookie from Ohio State.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And New Orleans was quasi-competitive with Arizona in that game, and so it's 1 week. We're gonna overreact, but if you're banking on the Panthers being a fun watch and or winning the division, it's probably not the season for you. My buddy Travis Evans sent a meme to the group chat today that was like. It's like your head hurts. It's like a red circle on your head. And then like a red circle on your stomach for like stomach ache. And then it was whole body is red. It was watching the Panthers play football.
It's not good.
It's not good.
I thought it was worse defensively than offensively because I think that I think you said Bryce made some really good throws, but he also missed some throws. The pass that goes through Dowdle's hands, that's high. That's a bad throw, but he also could have been helped by his running back. Xavier Legette has to get the second foot in bounds. To me, that's egregiously bad.
That was terrible.
I would have liked...
That was like...
What?
That was like you're in college bad. You this is the NFL. You were drafted high.
Do we practice?
You have to get that second foot in. Yeah, that was real bad.
So there was a play in the Lions-Packers game by Isaac Tesla, an electrifying play. Yes, thank you very much. He makes this ridiculous circus catch in the end zone and somehow manages to get both feet down. If he's doing that, his first NFL catch, and Legette can't get his second foot down when he's just running...
I think when you have a basic out like that to the sideline, and you're a second year, ostensibly number 2 receiver on a team with an up and coming quarterback and hopes for being frisky for the season. It just says a lot about what's going on with Carol. If that sort of thing is happening in week 1, like to your point, do you practice? Like what? That is a basic fundamental thing. You cannot let that slide,
right
out of the gate. It's just a bad sign for where they're at.
Yeah, and the 2 interceptions, one goes through Daddle's hands. There was a fumble in there, and that's bad. And the interception where he's got Legette, I don't know. Like, here's what I don't know. Was Legette supposed to come back to Bryce? And he didn't, but it was a good defensive play too. Either way, it's not like you didn't see the defensive back. He was right there. But then again, that happened in the State-Virginia game, and we'll talk about that another time. But I still think that the State-Virginia game, which was, entertaining.
It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely, and State won. The defense, though, and I want to move on to other games, but the defense for me, with all of their additions, still seems really, really bad. They could not stop the run at all. And this is 7 straight games of 200 yards or more rushing.
That's really bad.
Yeah, in the NFL. This is not typical in the NFL.
No, and I think if you're resetting your expectations for Carolina this year, week one knee-jerk reaction, my thought would be, okay, this offense just needs to look good, and this team needs to be in a bunch of shootouts and be, competitive because the offense can hang around with other offenses and, be in trouble against a team with, like, when Buffalo comes to town in week 8, it's like, all right, you're not going to slow down James Cook and Josh Allen, but you got to be able to throw against that secondary and score some points to make it competitive. And so I think that's sort of where I would reset my expectations for Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Look, again, I do think the offensive mistakes are correctable to an extent. The defensive mistakes, I'm not sure they are. I'm not sure that they're like they weren't really missing anybody physically, right?
They're just going to be a bad defense.
Yeah.
But I think that was sort of like I sort of expected that coming into the season.
I did too, but I thought that they would have addressed not that I think they tried to address. I thought they would have been better against the run. It wasn't even as though Jacksonville was tricking them, right? They just handed it off. Travis Etienne, I had him all last year on my fantasy team. He didn't do that once. Not one time.
Did not.
Not one time. All right. Let me move on to some other games, some more fun. Can we start with, I'm not sure there's a better team right now than the Green Bay Packers. Granted, it was week 1. But if they're going to show that defense when Micha Parsons is on the field, I think I can declare them, apart from Philadelphia for, just to start, best team in the NFC.
Yeah, they're definitely right there. And, it's, again, 1 week, overreactions, but very curious to see. It's the first thing I thought when I woke up this morning. I'm really curious to see how the Bears look on offense tonight, because I think if the Bears are explosive on offense and Caleb Williams looks really good and you have all the Star Wars stuff that Ben Johnson likes to bust out, you're really going to have some questions about the Lions with new coordinators. And Aaron Glenn's Jets team shows up and plays well. Maybe that's offensively, but the Jets at least played well, which is indicative of his coaching.
Yeah.
And then you have the Lions without Ben Johnson go out there and only score 13 points. And that's sort of the question, right? Is this a Lions offensive thing? Is this a Packers defense thing? Certainly looks to be a Packers defensive thing. Detroit has the personnel. They didn't lose. They lost some offensive linemen to, I think Frank Ragnow retired, lost one guy in free agency, but they average 3.8 yards per play. That is really bad.
Yeah.
You will not win any football games averaging 3.8 yards per play. Green Bay averaged 5.7, very strong. I thought Jordan Love looked really sharp, made some very nice, didn't have to throw a ton, 16 to 22, but made those 2 touchdown throws were really nice. And they can pound you with Josh Jacobs. So, if that defense is top 5 in the league, then Green Bay, I would agree with that. Philadelphia notwithstanding, and Philadelphia looked awesome too. One of those upper echelon teams in the NFC, and probably the favorite right now to win the NFC North.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Philadelphia in the aftermath of the win over Dallas. I was actually more impressed with Dallas than I was with Philadelphia that game, and Philadelphia was fine. I just thought Philadelphia was very vulnerable defensively. I was surprised at that. Dallas could have easily won that game.
Packers are now behind only Philadelphia to win the Super Bowl at 9-1.
Yep.
Is what I see. Yes, like I would assume that the Packers are in fact favored to win the NFC North, which they are. They're minus 120 to win the NFC North. So, yeah, I mean,
that has changed.
Vegas, that's changed. Yeah, that's right. And Green Bay Detroit plus 425. Wow. Yeah. So pretty big shift in terms of that division, and I think reflective of what we saw in Week 1.
Micha Parsons impacts the game. Penei Sewell, who is as good a right tackle as you'll find, maybe outside of Lane Johnson in the NFL. Penei Sewell had his hands full. Even when he was able to block Parsons, it seemed like Parsons pushed him back enough to get in the way of Jared Goff. Micha Parsons is going to be a problem.
Did you? There's NFL memes put it out, but it's like Parsons gets free and is chasing Jared Goff on his blind side and Goff's running. It's like the caption was, "This looks like one of those nature videos when a cheetah is hunting down a gazelle." Like, the ending. That thing is dead.
That is absolutely true. You mentioned the Steelers, Will Brinson. I thought encouraging signs both ways in that game, and you and I were texting as a result. I had by the way, I had a Jets and a profit boost and a money line, and I was unfortunately ended up being a loser, but it's okay. I thought the Steelers showed a lot. I also think the Steelers' defense was kind of exposed at times. Maybe it's because Cam Hayward hasn't done much lately, but I thought the Jets probably should have won the game if they don't turn it over, if they don't commit some dumb penalties. I think the Jets probably win the game. But I thought Aaron Rodgers, for the most part, was excellent. I think he got away with some things, but if I'm the Steelers fan, I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're getting good production for DK Metcalf, albeit some of it on like a crazy wild play.
Yeah, it was lucky.
Rodgers 22. Yeah, Rodgers 22 at 32, 44, and 4 touchdowns. Now, like one of them was a little pop flip pass to Jalen Warren, and another was like and then one was like the jet sweep pass to Jonnu Smith. But still, like I think you'd be crazy to suggest anything other than Aaron Rodgers looked like a massive upgrade for the Steelers from their quarterback situation last year. Even though Justin Fields played well on the other side, you have the Russell Wilson struggling badly for New York on Sunday as well. So it's like it does. I think, and this is sort of my point when they signed Rodgers was, to me it has that feel of, okay, it is the last ride, the actual last rodeo for Rodgers. He's in a serious organization with a good coach and weapons around him, and a reasonable offensive game plan. This could work if he can just sort of, sometimes you see these guys in that final year just sort of summon everything and make a charge. I think, I think the Ravens are clearly still the favorite in that division, and understandably so. Even losing on Sunday night, I mean, that was an incredible game. But like the Steelers profile like a wild card team for sure.
Now let's close on the Bills Ravens, because I know people are losing their minds. Why can't Baltimore win those games? If Derrick Henry doesn't fumble the ball, Baltimore wins the game, and all the questions are about the Buffalo Bills, who could not stop the run at all. That was hot knife through butter. Baltimore running the ball right down the Bills' throat. I actually think the Bills have more question marks coming out of that game than the Ravens do. They got the Ravens got Josh Allen, right? That's even though good performance from Shakir, Keon Coleman looks much better in year 2. To me, that was all about Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. And if Baltimore doesn't fumble, late in the game, they win it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this is Buffalo came out. It goes down the field in 7 plays. On a nice kickoff return, Josh Allen finds Dalton Kincaid, for the touchdown, and you're thinking, all right, like, we got a good game on our hands. And then Baltimore just took control of that game. I mean, you look up and it's 17-7 all of a sudden. 3 possessions later, the Bills can't do anything on offense. Baltimore is running the ball. Derrick Henry's doing Derrick Henry things. And credit to Buffalo. They hung in there. They get a field goal, right before halftime to make it 2013. And then it's really looked like Baltimore was putting it away. But yeah, like Derrick Henry fumbles and Josh Allen did Josh Allen stuff. I don't get that hung up on the narrative surrounding that sort of game. When you got a 41-40 game between the two guys who finished first and second for MVP in a really close race last year on Sunday night, week 1, that's just a fun football game. Enjoy it for what it was. Baltimore should have closed, but they couldn't close against the Raiders last year early in the season, and people were like, can they not close? Baltimore will be fine.
Yeah.
Like this is not indicative of anything about Baltimore. They went into Buffalo, they had the Bills on the ropes, and the MVP did insane stuff late in the game because he's a freak athlete and a total unicorn. I don't get that hung up on it, but I think, it's a good example of. And it'd be very curious to see what the Chiefs look like in a few weeks. I mean, they obviously were not very good against the Chargers on Friday in Brazil. But if it's Baltimore in the AFC Championship game, I don't think anybody should be surprised.
Not at all. It does look like that game would probably be played in Buffalo, and it might be the final game ever in that stadium. So that would be certainly interesting. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. My friend, I appreciate you helping us sort the Sunday pile. You have certainly got us off on a great start this week. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, buddy. Talk to you, man.
You got it. Will Brinson here on The Adam Gold Show.